Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Raw Talk. And this is one of my favorite people, Carolyn. She is, oh my gosh, she's kind of like another mom to me. I grew up across the street from her, and she was the person that I always went to take a sliver out of my foot or, put a Band-Aid on a cut for me because my mom just scared me like with a needle. Like, no, I think I'll have Carolyn do that. So anyway, Carolyn, thank you for being here and spending a few minutes with me today.
I'm delighted to be here. You're one of my
glad.
favorite people.
Thank you. Yes, you're one of mine too. And so back in the day, you have always kind of plugged little positive things into my brain when I was little, and you've continued to do that throughout my adulthood. And you recently just kind of came up with a very cool but very simple concept that really grabbed my attention. Basically, this is about complimenting yourself, which I think that we've gotten so far away from. I mean, I don't even remember the last time I gave myself a compliment, and I consider myself someone that has somewhat decent self-esteem, but I don't do that to myself. So how did this concept even come up for you? How did this show up?
I've just been looking around. It started actually with watching how people receive compliments. And you can tell that hesitancy. And I find myself saying, well, that's not true because blah, blah, blah. And so you immediately negate the praise or the compliments. And it got me thinking, why is this? Where did this all come from? And this is my opinion, is that our society does not like people praising themselves or acknowledging themselves. And I don't know why. Maybe it's in the water. I don't know where it comes from.
Right.
So anyway, that's why I came up with this, because people are saying, compliment yourself, say positive things. And this is just an easy step-by-step on how to do it, to get you started. And then wonderful things are going to happen in your life, and you'll continue it, hopefully.
Well, and that's interesting because, I've learned, over the years, I think you were probably the person that taught me iMessages, and saying those things. And I've done some exercises in the mirror where it's like, Kelly, you're so amazing. And you always feel kind of like silly saying those things to yourself in the mirror. But it's a matter of, I think, at least for me, to compliment myself made me feel arrogant. And so there's like that fine line where I don't want to compliment myself in front of other people because that just seems kind of weird. But if you're saying good things about yourself to yourself, there's like, that's good. That's a good thing to do. So this one is actually, you developed the Simple Six, right?
I did.
Okay. So how does that work? What are the Simple Six?
Okay. First of all, praise is a self-esteem booster. So it's an inside job. You can do it yourself. You can raise your self-esteem without anybody else. You are in charge. So this is just a simple format on incorporating it into your life. So the Simple Six comes with 2 compliments, saying something nice to someone else, nice purse, great dinner, you look good today, love your clothes, thanks for helping, or praise for something they've done, or just who they are, kind, loving, creative, supporting. So that's 2 of the 6. The next 2 are compliments or saying praise to yourself, saying something nice about yourself. And just looking in the mirror, like you said, greatly enhances it. You look in the mirror and you say, I like myself. I am a good person. And I'm happy. I'm really happy. I was going to finish that, but I didn't. I did a good job. I brushed my teeth. I helped my neighbor. Just anything that you feel good about. And you may think it, but think it positively. You can whisper it to yourself. You can shout it in the shower. Um, but our body, our brain does need these compliments. Well, our brain activates certain chemicals when we say good things about ourselves, which has a very, very positive effect on our physical well-being as well as our emotional well-being. So it's really important. It's a gift to yourself that we need to start giving and keep giving. So that's, and also on this, two compliments to yourself, be your own best friend, be a cheerleader, give a rah-rah when you do good things, and stay far, far away from the poisoning effect of criticism, because that has a poison, very harmful effect to your body. And would your best friend feed you poison? No. And now you're your best friend. So
I think a few of my best friends might feed me poison. So I've chosen some different friends, but yes, not today, but back in the day, maybe.
Now you're your best friend.
That's true.
Okay. Then the final two of the simple six is simply acknowledging and saying statements of gratitude. This is my very favorite one because you can feel your heart swell. You get so excited and so joyful. I mean, I'm grateful I get out of bed every morning. I'm grateful that my eyes work, my hands, my feet, everything. And I'm grateful I have loving, caring friends. I'm grateful for sunsets, anything and everything. And I also wondered, going back to the start of our conversation, about why people are hesitant to praise themselves. And I came up with, we're looking for permission. Then that took me a step further. Who do we ask for permission? Well, there's only us. So we ask ourselves for permission to praise ourselves, and we grant that permission. Have at it. You're a good person. Go for it. It's all yours. You have wide open range to do what you want. Okay. There's, when this comes into your life, you will notice, at least I've noticed, a really fun change, because I'm always looking for positives, because I've committed to myself that I'm going to say 2 positive things about people, about myself, and 2 attitudes of gratitude. So it has kind of a ripple effect that you feel better about yourself physically and mentally, and like being around yourself, and other people like being around yourself, because you are always up. You're never dragging your chin in the mud. You're up, your posture's good, you're bright-eyed, you're ready to go for it. And all those thoughts have a really healing effect on your body. And your body deserves that, especially in the time we're in now. You've got to be your own best friend. And it's really okay to do that. So make this the new normal. You deserve it, as do your friends and family. There is one warning that I have to throw out. The new way of thinking may feel uncomfortable or awkward for a while, because it's a totally different way of thinking and feeling about yourself, the world, your friends, family, because you're on positive track. So if you haven't been there before, you're going to get some niggle that, whoa, am I allowed to do this? Oh yeah, it feels good, I'm going to do it. So hang in there. Soon Simple 6 will be the new normal way to think, feel, and act. One last thing, celebrate mistakes, because that's how we learn to do it better and do it different next time.
Yeah.
And that's it in a nutshell.
Right. That's interesting, because, you know, celebrating the mistakes is huge. And I think I can speak only for myself that, you know, there was a time when I really beat myself up for all the mistakes that I made, and I didn't know how to deal with that. but the mistakes are simply, they're a past that we've left behind, and we learn from those mistakes, and those mistakes really make us who we are. But the positive stuff, and what really hit me, what you just said, was the permission part. Because for me, even making the move to Phoenix, I went to some counseling because I had made so many bad choices in my life. I was afraid to make another bad choice. And I had asked her just something so simple, and she said, "Why are you waiting?" And I thought, I don't know. And I went out to my car after that session, and I booked a trip to Phoenix. And within 6 months, we ended up moving here. Like, it was like I needed permission. And it was such an aha from her. And, you know, it just, sometimes you just need a third party, you know, someone like you, or someone like a therapist, or someone outside of your sphere to help you see something that you can't see about yourself. And these compliments, even though I have felt silly doing the compliment thing in the mirror, like you taught me, and actually practicing this, it still feels a little uncomfortable because I'm not used to doing it.
Sure.
So, I mean, you know, can you speak to that? Because obviously we're so used to beating ourselves up, most of us, most of the time. I mean, how do you deal with that uncomfortableness of saying something good and really not believing that? What would you say to that?
First of all, I want to say that your therapist gave you a very good suggestion. What's stopping you? Why not now? What are you waiting for to happen to give you permission when it's right there? Anyway, so what was your question?
So the question was the uncomfortableness. Because we get so comfortable telling ourselves bad things about ourselves. This is hard to believe. You know, it's like the fake it till you make it. Like, so what is your advice on learning to not only say nice things about yourself, but being patient until you believe it?
Okay, our beautiful brain does exactly what we tell it. It wants us to be happy. It wants to do whatever works for us. And so the negative things are very, very familiar. You're used to thinking that way. Your brain is very, very comfortable with those kind of thoughts because it's heard it for a long time. And your beautiful brain is saying, I'm doing exactly what you said. You want to feel dumb. I'm going to make you feel dumb because I keep hearing that. So obviously that's going to make you happy. So what we need to do is change that familiar into the new familiar, which is complimenting and praising yourself. So the mind goes, oh, wait, we changed here. And that's what breaking old habits takes a while. So that old habit is the familiar, I'm not enough, whatever. And so to break that, you're going to change that thought pattern, and your brain is going to go, oh, okay, this is brand new. What do we do here? And so the brain learns through repetition. And so the 2 compliments a day will eventually make that positive familiar. And then your brain is comfortable. It knows this is what its job is. So you're going to trade the familiar statements, just flip-flop them. Negatives gone, positives in. It feels familiar. It feels comfortable.
Right. Well, and I have one example just to give to the viewers of something that happened to me, because, you know, we don't live in a world of sunshine and lollipops all the time. At least I don't. So, I mean, we all have our bad days and our good days. But back when I actually went to this therapist, I was kind of in a bad place, a negative place, and I was angry at the time and just not being my best self. And she brought me back to the gratitude. She brought me back to, okay, I want you to journal every day, and I want you to journal gratitude every day. And it took like 30 days, but the awareness was amazing for me, because sometimes you just go on autopilot, you're right, and you forget. And the awareness was like, holy crap, I didn't realize how ugly I had allowed my thoughts to become until I started journaling every day. So this is kind of the same thing. It's doing this every day for 21 days or 30 days or 45 days, there's different, ways you can do this to reset your brain. And I'm actually in a place where I've been going through some tough times and quitting smoking, and I've got a lot of emotions coming up for me, that this is going to be a really good exercise that I want to do for myself for the next 30 days, just to remind myself and feed myself that positive reinforcement, because, I can feel myself getting a little bit low, only just trying to overcome the addiction. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
not being, I guess, as kind to myself as I could be. So this comes at a perfect time. And I hope that my audience will take this and I'll put this online, and I'll kind of map it out, and I'll type it out just to keep it very simple, your suggestions to this. But maybe, we can do a little 30-day exercise and then come back in 30 days and see how we're feeling.
Well, I started doing this, becoming very aware of it. And after about 2 weeks, I noticed that compliments they were natural. Gratitude became so natural, because what you're looking for, you find. What you turn your attention to increases. And so when you're filled with positive and looking for good, you're going to find it.
Mm.
And
So,
I don't think it will take, I'd like to touch base with you in 2 weeks, because for me, it happened very quickly. And it felt so good. It was like, I don't want to go back to that dark, negative place. I don't want to find things wrong with people. They're wonderful. They have so many good attributes. That's where I'm going.
oh my God, I want to try this. Okay. So would it be okay if we, that's got me excited already. I can already feel my energy field, raising. Would it be okay if we tried it on each other in this recording?
Oh, yes. And also, this is my email address.
Oh, it's backwards. Can you turn the paper the other way? No. There you go. That's it right there. CDE Erickson, CD Erickson 7z@outlook.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Anyway, and then I'm willing, I'd be delighted to send them out a PDF copy of what I just went over.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so if I'm going to try the exercise, how do I do it? I do 2 compliments to you, right?
Oh, to me, great. I love compliments.
Okay.
2 compliments to other people.
Okay.
2 compliments to yourself, or praise. They kind of intermingle. And 2 statements of gratitude a day. Easy.
Okay, so I'm going to try and say, my compliment to you is that you are a lifelong mentor for me. So thank you for always teaching me and always just showing up for me. Thank you for that. And thank you for being you. And you've always been a positive influence in my life. And you're always bringing something fun to the table and to play with, and to kind of, just explore, something fun to explore. So thank you for keeping life interesting and positive.
Okay.
Okay, so my compliment.
See, that was 3.
Oh, that was 3.
Rolled right off your tongue. You get in that groove, and it's just hard to get back.
Okay, well, it's easy to give compliments to you. Let me see how I do with myself here. So, okay, my compliment to myself is that I am always willing to learn, to be a student. And the other compliment to myself is that I'm learning not to be quite as hard on myself through practice.
Okay, can I just reframe that? You love yourself.
I love myself. Okay.
Okay.
I love myself. That is hard for me to say out loud. I love myself. That's really hard. What an interesting thing.
Okay, now I'm going to give you 2 compliments.
Okay.
I want to acknowledge how much effort and time and caring and loving you put into every one of your sessions. And you open a door by being vulnerable, you open a door for everyone else to be vulnerable because they see it's okay. Kelly's doing it, I can do it. And that's a real gift of love. I don't know if you realize that.
Thank you.
Another thing, you are always learning and thinking, and I love our discussions because so many items come up. It's fun, and I really appreciate your friendship.
Thank you. That's really sweet. Thank you. And then we do 2 gratitudes, right?
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, first, my gratitude is my gratitude for you, for again, always showing up for me, being in my life, and being like one of my lifelong people that just means the world to me. That, I mean, you know how much you mean to me. And the other gratitude is this, because honestly, before I had a moment, I had a little moment, and a very big emotional moment before you and I went live today. I think all of this not smoking and all this detoxing from that drug and all the emotions and 2020 and COVID and just all the stuff that's coming up, everything's like, blah. So I beat a hand towel. I'm guilty of beating a hand towel today against my bathtub because I needed to get that emotion and that aggression and all that stuff out of my body. And so yeah, that's hard for me to admit, and I don't know why it's so hard for me to admit to you guys that I had such a moment of rage and these emotions. It just needed to come out of me, and I felt so much better when it did. It was, no one got hurt. The towel is okay. And I felt a release, and I felt this tingling in my body when I got done. And then I just wasn't sure about showing up for this. But what this has done for me is changed my vibration. So when you and I first got on this call, my vibration was a little low. And since we've talked about this and I've given these compliments, I can already tell that my energy level has gone up and my vibration has gone up because now I'm shifted into a positive space. And that's amazing 30 minutes. That's a lot to take in, but I just had an experience of how this works.
Yeah. And you just did a whole page of gratitudes.
I did.
When that was easy. See how they rolled off your tongue? And
Yeah.
You meant them and you felt them and they made you feel good. And your heart's probably going, yes.
It is. It is.
Okay.
Wow, thank you. And what's your gratitude?
Okay. I'm really grateful for the curiosity that seems to have taken up a home in my brain, because I keep learning things and I'm so excited with everything I learn. It's every day something wonderful happens. I'm also grateful that I got out of bed this morning. Yay, my legs worked. I have a sign as I walk out my door. It says attitude of gratitude. So I see that every morning. And you'll find, I find I'm grateful for all the things that I'm grateful for that I think about every single day. I love it.
Right.
That's my favorite thing.
Well, this has been really fun for me, and I really appreciate this. And I think especially right now, yes, with the election and all this stuff coming up, I think we need to check in again in 2 weeks, and maybe, some of the viewers will try this exercise and then we can resume back in 2 weeks and see kind of what's going on. But my commitment to you and myself and my people is that I'm going to do this every day for 2 weeks until we meet again, and commit to that, talk the talk, walk the walk, and see how it affects me physiologically, psychologically, mentally, physically. And then, see how that goes in 2 weeks.
I would just make one more suggestion. That is, if you feel yourself going negative, just to say to yourself out loud, stop.
Okay.
And that will break up your thinking for a second and you can refocus it into the positive.
Okay. And what, I mean, I know you're not like a counselor or a therapist, but you're pretty smart. So what would you do if, your emotions are going to come up, right? We just talked about like you are going to have those bad days and whatever. So what's the fine line of feeling those emotions and then shifting back over to the positive?
I would turn those emotions positive, saying thank you for coming out. Because if tears don't flow, it causes other organs to weep. So you're doing your body a whole favor by allowing that to cry. Look in the mirror and cry. Just get them out. There's nothing the matter with feeling sad at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then you turn that into a gratitude. I'm so grateful I got rid of all this sadness. I'm so grateful all this worry and hurt is gone.
Wow, this is good. This is good. Well, thank you so much. This is going to be good. This is a fun exercise.
It is fun. I've had a lot of feedback and people are having a good time with that. And a really fun thing to do is just in the grocery store, somewhere you don't even know the people, just throw them a compliment. I love your purse. Gosh, you've got a darling child. And their faces just go boing. It's a fun deal to do.
It's funny because I've done that in public before, and it depends on where you're at. Some people will look at you like, why are you talking to that human? You know what I mean? Because people are not used to people being friendly to a stranger. And so, and again, I think that that's a great exercise because I think we need that more and more. What's wrong with giving a stranger a compliment? Why not?
Yeah, and that all comes back to permission. They think it's wrong to receive compliments. And anyway, so we have a long way to go, but this is a start.
This is good. This is really good. Well, thank you so much. I love you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you back here in 2 weeks.
Yes, you will. Thank you.
Okay, love you.